Everybody, welcome to OCD Hi-Fi Guy. It's Mikey here. I'm venturing out from behind the camera, coming to in front of the camera. Not a usual place where I like to hang, but I had to show you something. Okay, what I'm going to do today is we're going to do a little comparison and a couple things. Okay, first of all, I'm going to show you like in very specific detail what to listen for. Because I'm gonna change the sound, okay, and then I'll show you what exactly we'll have some songs. Now these are songs that you should write down and just put in a playlist or something. You always have a playlist of your demo music, and that is stuff that you use to tune your rig. Whenever you change something, whenever you move speakers, whenever you do whatever, you're going to fall back on this one playlist that you use again and again that has the same songs, and each one is representative of a different thing that you're trying to listen for to make sure is the rig sorted in that realm, okay? So like one will be for bass, one will be for female vocal, one will be for like reverb or like decay, right? One will be for something that's a little too hot. You know the recording is like just borderline a little too hot, so you want to that's to check highs and see if your rig is where it is. If it's too soft, if it's exacerbating the highs, you'll know by having a piece that is just on the borderline of hot. And maybe something that is just got a little too much bass mixed in. I've got a piece like that from Mark Knopfler, and there's some from Steely Dan too. Have real heavy bass, so you know where to go from there. So it'll be a little playlist that you keep, and I'm going to show you what exactly to listen for, so that you guys know exactly how to listen. Because people can tell you use your ears, you know, listen to whatever, but unless I think I sit and show you exactly what part of the song, exactly what I'm listening for, and I'll just go over my demo music, some of my pieces, and share that with you. You can make them yours or choose your own, whatever, it doesn't matter. Another thing that I'm going to do, because I'm sick of punk-ass cable haters, but people have a weird thing for hating cables, okay? And it's just a mystery to me that they still maintain that it's snake oil, meaning it's like fake, that no speaker cable or no cable is capable of sounding different than another cable. They're always going to sound the same no matter what you put in there. If you spend a lot, if you spend a little, it's going to sound the same. That's what people like to say. And what I just can't, it's like, how could that possibly make sense to somebody with all the cable companies that we have that have been in business for 30, 40, some odd years, maybe some of them more, and in hi-fi, and we still have these cable companies that have been around, and they're not out of business. They're growing, or they grew, they got huge, some of them, but there's still a ton of cables. Now that would mean if there were this many cable companies and it was really BS selling the cables, then wouldn't that mean that like everybody is really stupid? Like, and you're like one of the few that isn't stupid, but like everybody else that believes in cables is stupid. It's like, in other words, there's not going to be that many dum-dums if there's a whole industry, hundreds of cable companies that every year sell more and more and more cables. It means people are hearing it, okay? Now, if you can't hear it, then you should say, I can't hear it, okay? But to say cables don't make a difference, you're just there to troll and piss people off. Because cables do make a difference, and I'm going to prove it to you right now here in this video, okay? I have made cables. This is one of my regular designs, okay? This is like, and I'll tell you exactly what they're going to sound like beforehand. This cable here, this is, I don't know if you can tell, you can see how thin that is, and why. This is foil, okay? This is pure silver foil, 2.5 inches thick, okay? And very thin. This is one huge skin, okay? So, you know, skin effect means with the round wire where the high frequencies want to ride to the outside of the skin, and then, you know, you've got, so they stay on the outside, and there's like an anomaly between the core of the wire and the outer skin because the high frequency is trying to ride out there, and there's an anomaly. Well, if you make one giant skin, there isn't really that battle to get onto the skin because there's exponentially larger surface area on a foil than there is on a round wire. For the equivalent gauge, you just got tons more surface area. Okay, so this is what VERASTARR does. VERASTARR is the foil cable company. Each company, as you get to know the cable companies, you'll see that each cable company kind of does their own thing, and we're pretty respectful about it. Nobody steps on anybody's feet. Everything's pretty chill. Ricky Schultz and high fidelity cables, he's the magnet man, okay? Curtis, he's the golden ratio dude. Everything is golden ratio, you know, different gauge wires arranged in a helix or whatever that is, the spiral, the what do they call it, the Nautilus. You know, then there's synergistic. What is he? He's the quantum boy, I guess. You know, like his cable's the quantum thing. Everything operates in the quantum field, and it's all just wild and trippy. Okay, and then let's see, we got MIT. Okay, they're the box in the middle of your cable company. Well, so is Transparent now, the box in the middle of the cable. Those two companies that, and they've got a box in the middle of the cable that's got electronics in it, so it matches impedance. I don't know what it does, but it's the whole thing of electronics in the middle of the cable. Then Nordost is the they're the ribbon cable. So this is one solid foil. What they have is they have round wire lined up in a line. Each, but it's round wire all lined up in a line. So like if you see a Nordost like this, it has about 1/10 of the amount of metal that mine does in the same width, because they're just gossamer thin little hairs like in a row. And this is a solid piece of foil. There's no, it's one solid piece of foil. So and that's just a few. So people kind of have their own thing that they do. Now I have made these two. This is a clone of a what's it Hemingway cable. Okay, someone sent me a Hemingway one time that was he had the end had come off, and he wanted me to put the end back on for him, and so I was able to see exactly what it was and exactly how they wired it. And I'm not going to divulge their design secrets, because I don't think that's fair to do that. If anybody wants, you can buy one from them and then you tear it open. But all I can say is it's a unique geometry, but the material isn't that special. But the geometry is unique. So as you know, well, or may not know, these cables, when they flow energy, they have magnetism, electromagnetism that happens around here. There's a field, okay? And if you start doing different geometry where you team two together and twist them, and you put two over here, you can have them both hot, or one hot and one neutral. It changes up the sound when you do stuff like that, okay? And I don't know why that's so hard to get, and why it seems so impossible that would make any difference, but it does, and you guys are going to hear it. So the first thing we're going to do, though, is I want to do, because we're in the spirit of hearing things that make a difference. What I'm going to do is we're going to try this with in and out. Okay, so this is a Waverstar piece. This is a USB filter. Okay, it's a patented proprietary filter thing that they made. It's passive, so it's kind of cool. You don't have to plug a power supply in it, which is really kind of nice. And it's got something in there that does something. Go to their website and determine what it is. And then this is just you know, their cable, their USB cable. And then this thing is a separate piece. You buy these separate. And this is they call it, what do they call it? USB RC1. It's the USB reclock gender. Yep. It's a reclock gender. But anyways, so this puppy's like a filter. This what they said is it boosts, if your signal is maybe a little low, this will boost the signal and give it a punch before it goes through, and it reclocks too as well. So we're gonna try plugging this in. I don't have a bunch of time to do all these little things, but I can tell you both of these make a difference. Okay, I'll do them one at a time. Okay, so first I'm going to put first let's listen to it without, okay? Listen to just what she sounds like now, and then I'll put each one in one by one. So here we go.
Lido missed the boat that day, he left the shack, but that was all he missed, and he ain't coming back.
Chi-Town. He's talking about Chi-Town. Too bad it's such a hellhole right now. Thanks, Lori Lightfoot. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here, and first we'll try the gender bender. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, so this is the reclocker, booster, whatever you want to call it. Let's see what it did.
Lido missed the boat that day he left the shack, but that was all he missed. He ain't coming back. Into the stone bar and a juke joint car, he made it stop just long enough to grab a handle off the top. Next stop, Chi-Town, Leo put the mic down and let it roll.
Okay, so that definitely had an effect. I don't know if you guys heard that, but it basically firmed it up. It was like it took an invertebrate, like a jellyfish, and it gave it the spine or something. It was like kind of like loose, kind of jello-ish, I guess, if you were going to compared to like a firm one with lots of collagen in it or some shit. You know, like, so it was firm versus a little bit soft. And just listen for that back, and you'll hear what I mean when you listen to it back. All of a sudden, it kind of firms up, and then it just gets a little bit more dynamic. It comes together. It's got a little more snap on it, and it's just I liked it. That was positive. So now we're going to try this puppy in addition to the gender bender. Okay. So here we go. Plug this in here. Okay, put this right over here. Put this up here. Okay, here we go. Okay. All right. Okay, we are ready to go. Now let's see what it sounds like. Okay. Here we go.
Lido missed the boat that day he left the shack, but that was all he missed. He ain't coming back. Into the stone bar and a juke joint car, he made it stop just long enough to grab a handle off the top. Next stop, Chi-Town, Leo put the mic down and let it roll. He said, one more job ought to get it. One.
Okay, so what that did was definitely in the imaging domain. What that did was that took an image where his vocal was right here, and it went like it pulled it out. It's like he grabbed the two sides of the orb and just pulled it, stretched it out, and so the vocal went wider. It was very omnipresent. That vocal was very omnipresent with that thing. It did soften it ever so slightly though. So when it was just real pap punchy with that last one and very precise. This just smoothed ever so slightly, but it pulled it out and made that image nice and wide. So I would want to go back. I want to hear it again. So I'm going to go back because I'm sort of adverse to softness. I like just maybe a touch, but I really want that leading edge to be crisp and to have a nice tooth on it. Nice to just to cut that air a little bit, and not in a bad way. I mean, that just means that it's got presence is immediate. Okay, so hold on one second. Let's see how she sounds back with just the gender bender.
Lido missed the boat that day he left the shack, but that was all he missed. He ain't coming back. Into the stone bar and a juke joint car, he made it stop.
Okay, so I definitely hear a little more pop in his vocal, right? His vocal's coming off the back a little bit nicer and a little bit more of a pop. Although even though it is a little more cut, it doesn't, it doesn't have the coherence that other one did. Even though the other a little softer, there was like a coherence, like a more of a holistic feeling. This one was a little bit chopped up, slightly, a little bit discombobulated, or some a little bit just apart, like not together. So let's listen. Let's put it back, and let's check out where it goes now. This should give us a little more smoothness now. It'll smooth back up. It'll give us a little bit more coherence, I believe, and just give us a little more of that, you know, completeness. Okay, let's see how she goes.
Lido missed the boat that day. He left the shack, but that was all he missed. He ain't coming back. Headed to the stone bar in a juke joint car. He made it stop just long enough to grab a handle off the top.
Okay, so definitely want them together. What was going on there is that there was absolutely it brought the bass up, meaning it brought it filled up more of the mid bass, whereas the other one was a little scooped down here below the like a lower mid range down to like the upper mid bass. Like it was a little scooped, a little bit recessed. This brought it forward. That's what the fill up that I felt, where it was like more coherent, was that bass being brought up into there, filling that hole, making it more complete and more solidified and just more solid. And it was smoother. It did have a smoother feel, but it was fortified from within. So overall, I think it's better with that thing for sure. I don't want that to leave, so I'm going to keep that thing because that was a positive change. Okay, so now let's see. Oh yeah. Damn it, I got the thing plugged in way the hell back there. Shit. Let's see, what I gotta do is I gotta try the power cord change, although the power cord kind of fishes through. It's gonna be a pain in the ass, but that's okay. I guess we'll have to do it. Okay, so we're just gonna turn this off. 172. Right? Was that what it was? 172. Okay, so now they get that thing. Okay, so let's see. And when I unplug it, no, I'll be fine. Okay. So now I'm just going to pull this power cord out, and we're going to try. Now these are very similar cables. They're built very, very close. I've just changed a few slight things. This has not been run in yet. It just came straight off the cooker, and so we'll have to see. She might need some time to run in or not, I don't know, but we will check it out now. See what we got. We should have a change either way. There should be a change. It won't be identical, and let's see which way she goes. So, since we know, okay, that's where it goes, over here. Okay, let's see. Okay, since we know that, what was I going to say? Oh yeah. Since we know that we just added something that that smoothed it out, right? Okay, so we just put something in that we know smoothed it out and gave it that more of that body, right? So the first place I'm going to listen is right in there to see how it affected that. Okay, and then you know, I wasn't paying too. And I should have paid more attention to the highs, but they're, you know, everything was kind of snappy up there. I was really listening in that body area on the last example. So I'm going to listen there, and if we need to go back, to listen again if it's too close for us to tell. So we're at 172, right? I think so. Well, I can see if I look in the video, I suppose, right? Well, I'm not going to go back. Okay. So let's see. 172. Oops, 77. Some highs, some fours, some threes, 72. 172. Okay, here's the maiden voyage of this power chord. I have not heard it. I did make some changes in there, so this will be unique for both of us. See what we got.
Lido missed the boat that day. He left the shack, but that was all he missed. He ain't coming back. Headed to the stone bar in a juke joint car. He made it stop just long enough to grab a handle off the top. Next stop, Chi-Town. Leo put the money down and let it roll. He said, one more job, ought to get it. One last shot, or we quit it. One for the road, lead up. Whoa, he's for the money, he's for the show. Lead all the way, Lido.
Now notice how there's not sibilance on what we're listening to. And this is a 100% pure silver cable. So what people commonly say when they hear the silver cables that I produce is, I've never heard silver so smooth like this. And that's due to high purity. We do high purity, and we do some processes afterwards, including a heat anneal and a cryo freeze that really reduce the stresses or relieve the stresses that are in the metal from the cold roll. Let's see. So yeah, so that is, where did we hear it? Okay, so what it's really close, and what I think I heard is, I think I heard a taming of the highs ever so slightly, and then that mid bass area, it seemed to maintain a very prominent feel to it. So this one I use pure copper plug in IEC instead of rhodium plated copper like the normal version. So that might be what we're hearing on the top, is that ever so slight smoothness coming from the pure copper, no plating on the plug in IEC end. So this one I'll have to keep it in there a little while to try, just let it run in the piece of gear and get a better feel for what it's doing. But so far it's pretty good. I think it's a positive. Let's take this one out now, and we'll put in the and then I have some other music too to play to see if we can hear the certain features of the cables better. Because like for instance, if it's something, like that's electric music, it's pretty dynamic and powerful. So it might be blowing over nuance that we just can't hear because we're hitting it hard. If we just put something in that's maybe symphonic or something like acoustic music, and then we can sort of see how it is with ambience, and see how the cable reacts, and what it does for the ambient cues that we listen to, and that's everything that's like not music in the recording. So that's like spatial cues, things like that. Okay. Ooh, coming close. Okay. This way. Okie doke. I'm not gonna make it. Let's see how it goes. See, so this is, I'm gonna let y'all just kind of see every time I do this how much time happens when I just shut off the camera and you guys get to just snap through the good parts. But I'll keep you company here. Actually, maybe I can bring it down. Yeah, let's see about that. Down here. See how closely I'm on these things. Well, really, I shouldn't have moved it. I know where it was. I know how to put it back. But I don't think it's going to fit. Well, first I'm going to plug it in and then see if it fits. Because when you move a piece of gear like that, when it's sitting on its shelf like that, it can tune it. You can hear it will change. A lot of times it can change things because of where those little feet are picking up on the chassis. They'll pick up in a different spot. When I just moved it, it could have been right under a transformer. Now it's not. You know, or something like that. Okay. Now, what we should hear from this is a mid-range push. And let's see if I'm correct on that. Move it back a little bit more. Where it was. Yep. So now where you'll hear this in the mid-range in this is going to be the vocal. It should come forward, be more prominent. That's kind of this little, it's like when when you go to the TV store and they crank up the contrast, this cable has the mid-range cranked up. So a lot of times people will be surprised to hear that mid-range energy and they go, oh wow. And because you don't normally hear it, but it's not balanced, it's pushed. You're really changing things with it. At least that's what we should hear. We'll see if I remembered correctly. Okay, so oh yeah, let's bring it to 172 now, and then we will let her rip. See what it sounds like. Come on now. 72. Okay, here we go.
Lido missed the boat that day. He left the shack, but that was all he missed. He ain't coming back. Into the stone bar in a juke joint car, he made it stop just long enough to grab a handle off the top. Next stop, Chi-Town, Leo put the
Okay, so this cable is pretty damn good. That's pretty darn good for, I mean, it's this music that we're playing, it goes well together. I'm going to have to try and find a piece of music that will differentiate them better because they're sounding very close right now. And I'd have to go back and listen a little, listen on the replay to see where it's coming. But I think it did give that vocal a little more structure, a little more sturdiness, a little more pop strength coming from it. But I'll go back and listen. And again, when you get into this level of stuff, okay, I mean, look at the gear around here, and I mean, we're talking about nuance. We're listening for small changes, and they're not in the typical places where you'd listen. It's not, you know, the frequency response, the bass, the highs, the things like that. It's more so, I mean, this one has some mid-range stuff, but a lot of it is imaging as well. You know, how three-dimensional is it? You know, like I said, it's the ambient cues, which are the things that are not music in what we're listening to, which the room sound and stuff like that. So, okay, so that's interesting. Let's see, I don't really, well, let's see. Oh, you know what? Let's see how we can do this. I'll just do it like the way it is. Okay. So I've got a USB cable here. Okay, and this is one from, I don't know where it came from, but it came from a customer is really where it came from. Send it to me to check it out. And this is this thing that I guess people have been going cuckoo for. It's called a Network Acoustics AG, so that means silver. We've got an arrow to tell us which way it's going in case, you know, we get the two mixed up. You know, you don't really need the arrow. It's probably for the other ones if they have two of the same ends. But okay, so they've got three runs. It's probably power, positive, negative, and then the twisted data pair. I'm guessing that's how they have them broken out in this thing. But we will go and listen. We're going to take out the VERASTARR, which is one of my cables. We're going to put this in. Now, again, once you start monkeying with stuff like this, it's all about symbiosis. So, what I mean is, let's say I put the VERASTARR, or I put this, one of them sounds better, but we've got the Waversar in with the gender bender and the filter, the USB filter. So it may be that one electrically works better with the filter. So in other words, let's say we put this in and it sounds better than the VERASTARR. We can't say unequivocally it sounds better than the VERASTARR just because of this, because there's other things in the chain, such as these little tweaks. So we would really have to compare them with no tweaks and then determine which one do we think is a better build. That's the only way you could do that in a fair fashion. So, okay, so we are just going to change out. Let's see right here. Okey-doke. Looks like we've got our lock. And if we hear something in this song, again, usually when I compare cables, I'm using something acoustic, just because you can hear better nuance that way. But with rock, it's tougher. So we'll see if we can hear something. Either way, we're going to change the music after this. So let's give it a shot.
Lido missed the boat that day. He left the shack, but that was all he missed. He ain't coming back.
I can already tell you immediately that thing's dead in the middle. It's lacking in top end. It's lacking in that high frequency area that gives us the air, that gives us the spaciousness. It's flat up top. I mean, just listen to that. It's like lifeless comparatively. There's just a big difference. Go back and listen and you'll see exactly what I mean. And then I will leave this in for the next song. We'll play it first and then I'll swap and put the VERASTARR back in and we'll see about what it's like to give it life from something that's flat. Because right now it sounds flat to me. Let's hear again. Yeah, totally. I mean, it's flat. It doesn't have any air. It doesn't have that. It's definitely missing that leading edge. That real crisp, defined leading edge. So that wouldn't do it for me, at least in this situation. So let's try a different piece of music, and let's go on to our next piece of music that we'll test things out with. So let's see here. Okay, right, chill. So this is going to be like a no edit thing. I think I'm just going to put this one in full bore like this, raw and uncut. Let's see. So what do we got here? Okay. Let's see, which one am I going to do? Oh yeah, I got to go all the way up. One more time, gotta get it. Okay. One more for the road. Lido. Okay, so we got that. Okay, let's see. Well, you know what? Maybe I should do this tune anyways because because I was listening to it like beforehand, and this is a recording that's edgy. Okay, it's just was my judgment on this recording. It's a Billy Joel. It's 52nd Street. Big Shot's the tune, which I like that tune. It feels a little edgy, a little harsh. Let's see if it gets tamed by this, because right now it's kind of soft, right? Like I'm thinking. And so if we add a song that we know is a little hot, then we might be able to tame it out. We might be able to. It might sound real good with this cable with a song that's hot. So let's see. Let's give it a shot here. Let's give it a big shot. Come on now. Oh yeah, up here. No, that's not it. Woo! Damn.
Well, you went uptown riding in your limousine with your fine Park Avenue clothes. You had the Dom Perignon in your hand and the spoon up your nose. Ooh, when you wake up in the morning with your head on fire and your eyes too bloody to see, gonna cry and you call it, but don't come.
Okay, so it's not bad, but what I'm noticing is just a total effed up bass. Like that bass is just flubby and overdone. It's too much. And it just sounds like there's flubber on the bottom, So I want to fix that. We'll see if the VERASTARR cable does it, but check it out and see if you can hear what I mean.
Because you had to be a big shot, did you? You had to open up your mouth. You had to be a big shot, did you?
Well, you can't really hear it there. We'll have to go into the gut of the song again, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to go switch. I'll let you guys go back and forth. I'm going to go switch this USB cable and watch what I'm talking about. That bass will tighten back up. We'll get a little more crisp on top. Give us that kind of that little bite that we want, just to give us that definition, because that sound kind of jacked up. So I don't really. I mean, I know enough from what I just heard to know that I don't need to spend any more time with that cable. I know exactly what it's doing, and it's not my thing, not my thing. But you know what? The thing is, that cable is probably great for most people because most hi-fi systems that you listen to are too sharp sounding. They're too edgy. It's a very hard thing to get the edginess out of your rig, and that's the most common issue. Is it's too edgy and hurts your ears especially when you turn it up. And so that cable could be that. Maybe that's why a lot of people like it, because it tunes their rig. It tames their rig down a little bit. Gets rid of that harshness. This is not the way you want to get rid of the harshness, though. With your system, you don't want to use a cable to get rid of your harshness. You really want to get the components that don't do that. Much better. And then like I said, I think I've told you before, you get the main strokes down, the broad strokes with the gear, and then you can embellish with tweaks and stuff like that. Damn it, am I gonna have to go back around here? I think so. Whew, what a bitch. Okay. Let's see. that's listening to this get cleaned up a bit. That bass is going to tighten up, get more tonally correct, get better tone in it. We'll have better tone overall. That top will get just slightly more crisp, defined, and maybe a little more snap. Let's see if I know what I'm talking about. Looks like I called it exactly. Yeah, that's right. So you heard that, right? The bass tightened up, and now you know what I can hear. Now that the mid-range is coming through. Okay, so what I want you to do, I'm going to go back, I'm going to start, and when he's doing the vocal, okay, there's this halo kind of surrounding the vocal, okay, and it's just like this kind of, it's not necessarily a glare at this point, but it's about ready to become a glare. So it's halo right before it becomes glare, and it's around his voice, and you're going to hear this. It's like a, oh man, it's almost like a reflection sound. It's almost like he's in a not like quite the shower or something, but like a, oh, I don't know, something with a little bit metally or something like that. But just you'll see what I mean. It's like it's a slight glare around the vocals in the beginning. So check it out. And it's kind of like a sort of thing. It's like a, I don't know how to exactly tell you, but see if you hear it. Here we go. Oh, and it's also with the guitar. So you know those guitars have reverb on them. That's where it's coming from. So you hear. And they're in the same area as the vocals. So when the guitar's playing, it's gonna create this halo effect of mid-range that is gonna sort of stick around his voice and sort of take away from his voice because it's too much mid-range. It's like this halo thing. So listen, see if you hear it. I can hear it now. It has to do with the reflection. The reverb is like hanging off the vocal and making it a little strange. So now watch. Now I'm gonna go take that white cable out. Oh, we got 155. So let's remember to leave it at 155 because we had to turn it down. I don't know what the hell gave it all that gain, but put my cable back. I don't think so. Okay, so now I'm gonna take this white thing out. And we are going to put the foil cable back in, and then listen back again to that reverb around the guitar in the vocal area. That's gonna come back out, and you're gonna hear a better vocal. You're gonna hear more timbre in his voice. You're gonna hear more of the structure of his voice than having it washed out like it just was with the guitar reverb. So here we go. Man, I'm freaking too old for this shit. Whoa. How was that? That was this thing, I think, coming off a little lip. It was on a little lip and it just came down. That'll freak you out. Here we go. Nope. Okay. Okay, so again, this is going to tame the mids. We're going to hear it around that guitar and the vocal. And the result is we're going to get a better vocal pop. It'll be a little bit darker behind his vocal. So his vocal will come forward and pop a little nicer. And it won't be washed out like it was on that last one. 155, right? Let's see. Okay. Here we go. See if I know what I'm talking about.
Well, you went uptown riding in your limousine with your fine Park Avenue clothes. You had the dog hair and yawn in your hand.
How much better does that vocal sound? I mean, that is like the vocal is standing there. You can hear the grit in his voice.
In your hand and the spoon up your nose. Ooh, when you wake up in the morning with your head on fire and your eyes.
Bass is in perfect time. It's not slower than the rest of the music. It's perfectly in sync with the rest of the music. That flubber that we were hearing before was almost like a little delayed. It was almost like flubbing behind, almost tagging along a little bit. This is right up there tight and nice and with a good tone and musicality. This is awesome. Everything sounds tight and beautiful.
It's too bloody to see. Go on and cry and you call it, but don't come bitching to me. Because you had to be a big shot, did you? You had to open up your mouth. You had to be a big shot, did you? All your friends were so knocked out. You had to have the last word last night. You know what?
Okay, so now I hope these songs don't get snagged. I don't know about Billy Joel. I doubt the other one will. But, man, the other day I made such a killer video for you guys. Damn, it had the best music in it and it was so cool. But they were total, they wouldn't let me put it up because certain bands, just so you know, anytime every piece of music I use pretty much is licensed. That means it, belongs to somebody. And so they really need to get paid every time that it's played in public, for whatever purpose. And so when I play these songs, I automatically I get stricken from a copyright thing, but it's not an infringement. What it is just them saying, okay, you don't get to monetize this video, we do, and the money goes to whoever the artist is, which is fine with me. That's great, because I'd rather listen to the music that I dig than play some silly stuff so that I can make whatever pennies on this damn video. So it's just a better experience, I think. Anyways, and so, but some bands are, I don't think the bands know. It's like the label, or the attorneys or whatever, and they just, you can't play anything from them no matter what. And like, so Eagles is one of those. Hendrix, no way. Bob Marley, I think, might be getting a little looser and cool, but they at one time were real not cool. And just like that, there's Donald Fagen, no way, you can't play any of that. Or I don't know about Steely, but Donald Fagen, nope. And it's really silly because it's like I'm promoting your damn music. It's like I'm teaching, people are learning about music, about your damn band from this video that didn't know about it before. And, they'd probably have bought an album if you didn't strike me from using it. So it's really silly, but nonetheless, it was kick-ass. I spent all this time editing, making it so cool, and then I went to put it up and I got shafted, and it totally sucked. So now this one's going on 45, 49 minutes, so I don't think I'm going to put any more... What the fuck is that? Oh, I got some noise coming. Can you guys hear that? That's coming up. It's coming from the USB shit, those things. Huh. Did I get it? Got it. Did you hear that? I hope you guys heard that. I know what that meant. Okay. What we had an interconnect a little too. I have an unshielded interconnect over there. If it gets too close to a power cord, you get a little noise floor. It just sounds like a little white noise, like a little or something like that. Okay, yeah, so I'm not going to go on because otherwise it'll get too long. It'll be like an hour and a half. Maybe I'll play a little something else, one more tune. Let's see. Give somebody something a little different. Let's see. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay, so. Mozart, yo. So any pianists out there, you want to tell me, does that sound like piano or not? Is it ambiguous or is that certain? For you guys to know, piano is a very hard instrument to reproduce because a real piano, you get a lot of the wood, sound in of the resonance of the body of the thing, and you get all sorts of things, sounds, and very few rigs will reproduce that in a realistic manner. You miss a lot of that, of the wood sounds and things like that. But this, you can hear it's full of tone from that piano. Bass there, baby. Got saxophone lovers. Okay, so that that will adjourn our lesson for the day, and I will come back at you again now. And so hang tight, and Mikey will be back. I'll see you. Also, let's not forget some of the men that made this possible for me over here, and all you guys. On the right-hand side, we got Alberto Guerra, who made the AGD amplifier. That is an awesome piece. And right here is Jeff Rowland, man from Colorado. He's been doing this a long time, and he is an expert and has a very unique product. And we've got Danny Ritchie, who made this design. Over here, this is Nat Audio. This is Dejan. I don't even know his last name because it's Serbian, and I probably couldn't pronounce it anyways. But these two pieces are line stages. They weren't in the rig right now. But we'll do that some other day. More importantly, we got Phil Marchand right here with the crossover. We got Andreas Koch right here with the Playback Designs MPD-8. And yeah, I know there's fingerprints and shit on those, and shut up if you're going to talk about the damn fingerprints, because it doesn't matter. We're talking about music here. It's not about just a brood jewel that we want to look at. We listen to this stuff. It's equipment, man. Get over it. And then we've got, that is my server. Inside there is Marcin made us some JCat USB outputs, and also this is Marcin's power supply from JCat. Marcin definitely knows what he's doing with the digital front end stuff. He is kick ass. I haven't even told you guys what this thing is. This is an high-end Novum, Novum, PMR Mark II. It is a, I don't know what the hell they call it, but it's basically, it's like a cymbal. You hear it? It's much thicker than a cymbal, of course. This is a resonating disc, okay? This will actually resonate with the vibrations of the music in the air, and it will focus like vocal. It's very subtle, yet it's very natural. It's not metallic sounding. It's nice, and so that thing is pretty cool, man. They're made in Germany, yeah, I traded for it. I like to trade for stuff. See if there's anything else. Oh, Shakti holographs. Those things are weird too. These are Shakti holograph that are just, they're wooden, and they're little squirrely mabobs, and they're on a stand, and you basically put them behind a speaker. You put them over here, and when we take this, let's see back out here. And when we turn that, someone stands here, I'm sitting in the listening chair, and you can rotate that, and at one point, you'll just, bam, it brings a reflection right from there. And what it does is it helps broaden the soundstage, and give a nice full soundstage. It's a nice little reflection spot thing. You know, I don't know how they describe what it does, but that's how I heard it. It was just like a kind of a cool reflection spot. So anyways, those, I wanted to give the props to and then of course my cables, but I want to give the props to the peeps and that's it. So I'll see you.